Hello people, and welcome to Crypto Exposed. Will Hedera HBAR be added to Trump's US crypto reserve? Most likely. Okay guys, let's get into it. So obviously when you hear crypto reserve, if you're up to date with the news, this has already been clarified that, the crypto reserve is a US Bitcoin strategic reserve, and now they're going to have a US crypto stockpile. So Bitcoin is basically getting special treatment while it'll have its own reserve, and the US stockpile will be for the altcoins, right? And so the reason why I wanted to just have this conversation, I will just touch on the, let's go with the stockpile now rather than the crypto reserve, because we know that's going to be for Bitcoin specifically. But I wanted to talk about the market as a whole, because I do think there's a lot to be said on this, and just talking in regards to like this bull run, if we are still in it, and just adding a bit more context to the current situation, because I do think this could have a big impact on the market. So this is just something I want to cover off. Okay, so will Hedera HBAR be added to the crypto stockpile, the US stockpile? Yeah, I think that's very possible and even very likely. I would agree with that. Why? Well, for one, it's a US based crypto, so that's straight away going to be something that's going to get preferential treatment for Trump. And two, it's a crypto that is very, very popular and has good utility, right? So, just from like a common sense perspective, like we all know how this works, right? When it comes to like the long term with crypto, yeah, you can have these meme coins and stuff like that, and these coins that are just promising the world but won't deliver. But when it's all said and done, like when regulations and stuff come in, there's only going to be a few cryptos that survive. Like there'll be like, out of like the whole 100%, like there'll probably only be like maybe like 2 to 5% of cryptos that will have longevity, right? Because a lot of the cryptos out there are, pretty much already failed, dead projects, rug pulls, meme coins, stuff like that. And when it comes to regulations, a lot of them won't be able to comply with this stuff because they don't really have a real purpose, right? So it will come down to tokens like HBAR that have a real purpose and have a real utility that will change industries and stuff like that, that will actually have the long-term, the long-term growth, right? And so when it comes to this, like, I do think it is likely. Now, the thing about this is, the way this was originally said, it's obviously been a bit misleading, and that's the part that I really want to get into. So the first thing I will say is, just before we even get any further into my point that I'm going to make, even if HBAR does get added to the crypto stockpile now, it's not really as big of a thing as it was originally made out to be, because like Trump has basically said that the way it's going to be done is that it will be a neutral way of getting this crypto. So basically what he's saying is that they won't be buying these cryptos. They are just going to be using cryptos that have already been forfeited and seized. And so what that basically means is there's no real supply and demand in play, right? So this isn't really going to do that much for cryptos, because they're not buying the cryptos and adding them to the stockpile. They're literally just going to use crypto that they've already taken. So that crypto is already out of the supply anyway. So it's not going to do anything really for the price, because it's kind of just like having crypto that's already out of the loop, being kept out of the loop, right? You know what I mean? Like there was already seized and nothing was being done with them anyway. You're not adding to it. So if you add to it, then you're decreasing the supply. So as the demand goes up, the price will go up. But if you're not buying any extra, you're just using stuff that you've already seized, then that was already out of circulation anyway. So it doesn't make no difference. And so, even if HBAR is included, obviously, like it's positive to a degree, but it's not as great anymore as what it sounds anyway. It's been a bit of a letdown, if I'll be completely honest with you. And so I want to get to my bigger point now. So obviously, as I was saying earlier about being in a bull run, look, I don't really know for sure anymore, like what the deal is. And the reason why I say that, it's not because, like I'm going by charts or anything like that. The reason why I'm saying this is because I've been thinking about this, right? And when Trump announced there was going to be a crypto strategic reserve, right? There was actually someone, we don't know who, there was someone who put a leverage play on, I can't remember if it was Bitcoin or other cryptos, whatever, but they put a leverage play on cryptos or a crypto just before the news broke out about the strategic reserve. And it was $50 million they put down. Okay? This was just before the news was announced. Okay? So, after they did that and the news went, massively great, sent the markets rallying, they then turned to a short position on the market. And guess what? This was just before some negative news come out about crypto. And what happened? They made a whole load of money on the way down as well. So they made money on the way up, doing leverage on $50 million. And then they shorted the market as well and made money on the way down as well. Both of these plays were done just before Trump announced the news of both things that affected the markets. And so look, I'm just going to be completely real with you guys here. Obviously, I don't know anything for 100%, so I can't say it's a guarantee. But to me, 99% I'm certain that is insider trading, right? The only reason why I'm not going to say 100% is because I factually don't know. I can't guarantee it, but I'm 99% certain that that's insider trading. It's way too high of an amount of money to gamble. They leveraged it as well, so the gamble was even higher, which would have made it way more risky because it would have been easier for them to get liquidated. And then they timed the market perfectly and then turned it to a short as well, just before more news came out. No, like that. I'm sorry, guys. That's ridiculous. That is insider trading. I'm as convinced as I can be that it is. And so what that means to me is that Trump is basically just manipulating the market. He's using information that he's going to put out about crypto and stuff like that to manipulate the market because he can make money from it, right? And so the thing for me now is that we are in unprecedented times, right? Because the market can kind of be bent at Trump's will. And he's going to do this to make as much money as he can, I would believe. And so let's just say the market was set to roar in 2 days' time. Just a hypothetical. Just say the charts were all showing, it's lining up tomorrow, 2 days' time, it's going to blast off. And let's say this was actually accurate, right? Well, what if Trump comes in because he intends to, bend the market a bit more? It says, hey, run a short on the crypto market right now. Just run a short on it, short the market. And then he just puts out some negative news to short the market to make, good on the leverage play. Right? And so it could be that HBAR was ready to blast off. But then this news comes in that just completely wrecks the market. And that could really mess with the charts, right? Because, if it's temporary drops and stuff like that, that's stuff that the charts can recover from, right? But if Trump is really dropping big amounts of news here and there, that's really messing up the markets, that could really throw it off. If you've seen the drop off of Bitcoin off of the back of the news from the strategic reserve, it's back to really low lows, compared to where it's been. This is the lowest it's been in a good while. And this is what I'm saying. Trump is having a very big impact, high and low, on the market. And so if he's going to continue doing this to just keep, manipulating the market to make money, that could mess up the bull run. I think that's a possibility. And so my whole thing now is are we going to be able to still get our run from this? Because Trump is, from what I can see, is manipulating the market to benefit from it, And so I'm just giving you my thoughts out loud at the moment. I don't know what's going to happen. A lot of analysts who do watch, are saying that the bull run is still in play. So, that's what I would go with most likely because, even though, the markets are taking hits, it's not as bad as what it has been, all of, let's say 6 months ago. Do you know what I mean? So it's still doing a lot better. So I'd like to think that it's still in play if you had to ask me, but, could Trump really affect the market? And it doesn't even have to just be from him actually making, actual crypto news. It could be the things like the tariffs, right? Him putting tariffs. And so even with that, is it like from a macroeconomic point of view, like, is he manipulating the markets again? Because, you know, he was putting tariffs down on all these countries, and the next thing you know, he's pausing tariffs. And it's like, he keeps changing his mind. And it's like, well, what are you doing? Like, are you putting the tariffs on or not? Like, you put the tariffs on and then you pause them. So it's like, well, what was the point in putting them on then? You know? So it's either that he's not really sure what he's doing, or he's blatantly just trying to mess with the markets, you know? So it's one of those things where, like, it does just make me wonder, like, is this going to have a longer impact on the bull run as a whole? I hope not, you know, I really do, because we are so close. This is the closest we can be to just getting that final, you know, that final push. But yeah, I can't say for sure, right? Like, we're in a strange time, so I don't know. Like, I'm interested to see where it goes, but when I say interested, like, I'm nervous because I don't want to lose out from this. I don't want the bull run to be over. But it's difficult, right? Because if we was to say that we go back to, you know, Gary Gensler still being in office, like, we would be nowhere near where we are right now, you know, because Gary Gensler would still, like, suing companies left, right, and center. So I definitely take this over the alternative, but this could turn to be tricky as well, right? This may not be as great as we would have originally thought. So, you know, I guess we will see. Time will tell. But yeah, I was just thinking about this, and, you know, the way, like, Trump changed from the US crypto reserve to the strategic reserve and stuff, like, to the stockpile, you know, it's like, he's either changing it because he's worried about what the Bitcoin maxes were going to say to him, you know, or he had no intention of having it the way it was, and you know, he just blatantly manipulated the markets. It's one or the other. So, as I say, I don't know where this is going to go. Time will tell, but I just thought I'd share my thoughts on this because I think it's important, and this could have a huge impact on the market. So, let's see how it pans out, but I'm trying to remain optimistic at this point. Thank you very much for watching this. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And hit that bell. Take care.